right, so get ready because today we are going to deep dive into how to cleverly deal with the weather when it comes to your skin. We're going to be talking all things seasonal skincare, like that tight feeling you get in winter and that summer shine.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how your skin actually has to adapt to the elements, just like when you swap out the clothes in your wardrobe.
That's so true. And for this deep dive, we're going to be using the skin and the seasons, how weather affects your skincare needs as our guide.
Honestly, I am a little shocked by a few of the things that I've learned. Like, did you know that spring can actually cause breakouts?
It's true. We often think that summer is the toughest time for our skin. But actually, those spring temperature changes combined with allergies can really mess things up.
Okay, so let's start with winter. I think we all know what it's like when it's freezing outside and our skin basically feels like it's screaming for moisture.
Yeah, that tight, dry feeling. It's not just something you're imagining. Cold air can't actually hold as much moisture as warm air can, so it sucks the humidity right out of your skin. It's like the air is trying to steal our hydration.
Yeah, in a way, it is. And then to make it even worse, we usually turn up the heat inside, which actually makes the humidity levels even lower. So it's like this double whammy of dryness that can seriously impact your skin's barrier function.
Skin barrier function, that sounds really important. Can you explain that a little bit more?
You can think of it as your skin's first line of defense. It's this complex system of lipids and cells that keeps moisture in and irritants out. When it's not working well, your skin gets dehydrated and irritated, and it's more likely to have issues like eczema or even just sensitivity.
So it's not just about feeling dry, it's about making our skin more vulnerable. It's no wonder winter can be so rough on our skin. So what can we do to protect ourselves?
The source talks about how important it is to replenish and protect that moisture barrier. Using a humidifier, especially in your bedroom, can really make a difference to add moisture back into the air.
I've heard of humidifiers, but I have to admit I've never really used one. So it's basically like having a tiny cloud in your room, adding hydration to the air.
Basically, yeah. And it can make a huge difference for your skin, especially during those dry winter months. Another tip from the source is to swap your regular moisturizer for something richer, a more occlusive cream.
Okay, so we need to switch to a heavier cream.
Yeah.
Are there any specific ingredients we should look for?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You want to look for things like ceramides and hyaluronic acid. Ceramides are these lipids that occur naturally in your skin, and they actually help to maintain that barrier function we were talking about. Hyaluronic acid is what's called a humectant, which basically means that it attracts and holds onto moisture.
So ceramides are there to reinforce the barrier and hyaluronic acid to draw in moisture.
Got it. And I'm guessing we should avoid those harsh cleansers during the winter too, right?
You got it. Harsh cleansers can strip away all of your skin's natural oils, which are already super low in winter. The source actually recommends choosing a cleanser that's gentle and creamy and won't disrupt the delicate balance of your skin. That makes total sense. Now I have to ask about something in the source material that surprised me. It talks about how important sunscreen is even in the winter. Is it really that important when it feels like the sun is so far away?
It is. A lot of people think that you only need sunscreen in the summer, but UV rays are present all year round, and they can actually get through clouds. So even on a cloudy winter day, you're getting damage that can cause premature aging and wrinkles and even increase your risk of skin cancer.
Wow, I definitely needed to hear that. I'll admit I'm guilty of skipping sunscreen in the winter, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So winter is all about hydration and SPF. What about spring? The weather starts to get warmer, but the source says it can be a tricky time for our skin. Why is that?
Spring is a time of transition, not just for the weather, but for your skin too. The temperatures are changing, the humidity levels are going up, and there's more pollen in the air, and all of that can stress out your skin.
I know exactly what you mean about the changing temperatures. One day it's almost warm, and the next day it feels like winter again. And then you mentioned pollen, which is terrible for anyone with allergies.
Right. Pollen can be a big problem. It can cause inflammation, redness, and can even clog up your pores, which can lead to breakouts.
So you're telling me that pollen can cause breakouts? That's a double whammy. So what do we need to do to keep our skin happy in the spring?
The source suggests a few things. First, gentle exfoliation is really important to get rid of dead skin cells and stop those pores from getting clogged up with pollen.
Okay, so adding in a gentle exfoliant is key. And I'm guessing that as the weather warms up, we also need to change up our moisturizer, right?
Exactly. You probably won't need that thick, heavy cream you used in the winter. You'll want to switch to something lighter, maybe a water-based formula that will hydrate without feeling heavy or greasy.
Yeah, I totally get that. My skin feels so different in the spring. Less dry, but also a little more oily. So lighter moisturizer is in, heavy cream is out. What about those spring allergies, though?
Choosing the right ingredients can make a big difference here. The source talks about how important it is to allergy-proof your skincare by choosing products with ingredients that soothe, like aloe vera and chamomile.
Aloe and chamomile. Those sound lovely and gentle. What exactly do they do for skin that's sensitive to allergies?
Well, both aloe vera and chamomile have anti-inflammatory properties, which means they can help to calm down redness and irritation. Aloe is also super hydrating, so it can replenish any moisture that's been lost because environmental factors or allergic reactions.
So they're like little peacekeepers for your skin, calming things down and keeping everything in balance. I love that.
And you know what's interesting? The source also points out that natural and organic ingredients can be particularly helpful for skin that's having a hard time adapting to these seasonal shifts.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, a lot of natural ingredients contain compounds that actually mimic the natural processes of your skin. Take aloe vera, for instance. It's full of polysaccharides, which are also found in your skin's natural moisturizing factor. So it's kind of like giving your skin a boost of its own natural hydrators.
That is fascinating. So it's like these natural ingredients are speaking the same language as our skin, helping it do its best.
Exactly. And since spring is all about helping your skin adjust to these up and down conditions, it's a really smart idea to use natural ingredients.
Okay, I am totally on board with this natural ingredient idea, but we're going to have to save that conversation for later because we still have to talk about summer and fall.
You're right. Let's move on to the season we all think of when we think of sunscreen, sweat, and shine. Summer.
Summer is definitely a challenge for my skin, but I'm ready to hear what the source has to say.
Well, first we need to understand what's happening deeper down. The heat and humidity in summer don't just make you sweat, they make your oil glands go crazy, which leads to more oil and shine.
Oh, that oily, sticky feeling is the worst. But of course, the biggest problem in summer is the sun, right?
Absolutely. UV rays are at their strongest during the summer months, and like we talked about before, they can damage your skin even when it's cloudy.
So sunscreen is a must. But what else can we do to protect our skin and care for it during that summer heat?
A lot. It's more than just the type of sunscreen you choose. The source stresses how important it is to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours, especially if you're sweating or swimming.
Every 2 hours. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not always that good about reapplying.
I know it can seem like a lot, but if you really want to protect your skin, you have to keep reapplying. Now, when it comes to your skincare routine for summer, the source recommends something called a double cleanse, especially at night.
What's a double cleanse?
It's a two-step process. First, you use an oil-based cleanser to break down sunscreen, makeup, and any extra oil. Then you use a gentle water-based cleanser to remove whatever's left over.
So it's like a really deep clean for your pores.
Exactly. It makes sure that you're removing all the stuff that can build up on your skin during the day, which is especially important when you're sweating more and producing more oil.
Okay, double cleansing is officially going on my summer skincare to-do list. But before we move on to fall, I have to mention one more summer skincare struggle. Chapped lips. Why do they always seem to happen in the summer, even when it's humid?
That's a great question. The sun can actually dehydrate your lips just like it does your skin, and we usually forget to protect our lips.
So what's the solution?
The source suggests using lip balm with SPF. It's like a barrier to protect your lips from the sun while also hydrating them.
Lip balm with SPF. It's like sunscreen for your lips. I love it.
Yeah, and it's such a simple thing that can make such a big difference. Now let's talk about fall. This season is often seen as a time for your skin to recover from all that summer sun and get ready for the colder months ahead.
Fall's actually my favorite season, but I definitely notice my skin changing as the weather cools down. It's not as oily as it is in summer, but it's not as dry as it is in winter. So what's going on during this transition?
Fall is all about taking care of any sun damage left over from the summer and making your skin stronger for winter. The source suggests using products with vitamin C and niacinamide.
Okay, vitamin C and niacinamide. What do those ingredients do exactly?
Vitamin C is a really powerful antioxidant that can help fade dark spots and hyperpigmentation caused by being out in the sun. It also helps to make more collagen, which keeps your skin firm and elastic. Niacinamide is more of a multitasker. It helps reduce redness and inflammation, strengthens your skin's barrier, and even helps control how much oil your skin produces.
So it's like a powerful team for recovering from summer and getting ready for winter. I'm sold. What about moisturizing? Do we need to change up our routine as the weather gets colder?
Definitely. The source talks about the idea of layering your skincare in the fall just like you layer your clothing. As the air gets drier, you'll want to start with a hydrating serum, then a moisturizer, and then maybe a barrier cream to seal in all that moisture and protect your skin from the elements.
So it's about building up those layers of protection as the weather gets worse. Are there any specific types of serums or barrier creams that you recommend?
When it comes to serums, look for ones that have hyaluronic acid or glycerin. Those are humectants that pull moisture into your skin. For barrier creams, ingredients like ceramides, shea butter, and squalane are great choices. They basically create a protective shield on your skin to prevent moisture loss and protect it from cold winds and that dry air.
That layering approach sounds like it would be a game changer for my fall skincare. I love how it's like layering clothes and makes so much sense. But before we go into more detail about how our skin reacts to the environment, especially humidity, we need to talk about one more thing for fall.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about exfoliation. You probably took a break from it during the summer, but it's time to slowly add it back into your routine.
So we need to ease back into exfoliation in the fall. Why is that so important?
Well, after a summer of being in the sun, you probably have a lot of dead skin cells on the surface. Those dead cells can make your skin look dull and stop your other skincare products from working as well. Gentle exfoliation helps to get rid of those dead cells so your skin looks brighter and smoother.
Okay, that makes sense. So exfoliation helps our other products work better. What are the best ways to exfoliate in the fall?
The source mentions two ways, physical and chemical. Physical exfoliation is when you use a scrub or a brush to get rid of those dead skin cells. But it's important to be gentle, especially in the fall when your skin might be sensitive from being in the sun all summer. Chemical exfoliation uses acids or enzymes to dissolve the stuff that's holding those dead skin cells together. It's usually gentler than physical exfoliation, but you still need to choose products that are right for your skin type.
So fall is all about repairing, protecting, and gently renewing our skin. It's like giving it a fresh start for the new season.
Exactly. And now let's talk about humidity and how it affects your skin throughout the year.
Humidity is something I've always wondered about. I know it's a big deal in the summer, but the source says it plays a role year-round. So how exactly does humidity affect our skin, and why should we care?
Well, humidity is basically the amount of moisture in the air. High humidity means the air is full of water molecules, and low humidity means the air is dry. Your skin is constantly interacting with the environment and exchanging moisture with the air.
So it's like our skin is breathing in the moisture from the air.
Kind of, yeah. And the amount of humidity directly affects how much moisture your skin can hold on to.
That makes sense. So high humidity is good for our skin and low humidity is bad, right?
It's actually a bit more complicated than that. High humidity can be good or bad, depending on your skin type and the specific conditions. For example, in a hot, humid environment, your skin might feel sticky and you might get breakouts, but it could also feel more hydrated and plump.
Oh, wow. So high humidity can be a good thing or bad thing. What about low humidity? I'm guessing that's always a problem for skin, right?
Low humidity is definitely the biggest culprit when it comes to skin issues, and it's not just a winter problem. Dry air, whether it's from cold weather or indoor heating, can really mess with your skin.
Okay, let's talk more about low humidity because I think it's something a lot of us struggle with. What actually happens to our skin when the air is dry?
Well, like we said earlier, dry air pulls moisture away from your skin, and that makes it dehydrated. That's what gives you that tight, uncomfortable feeling we all know so well. But besides making your skin dehydrated, low humidity also messes with your skin's barrier function.
Right, that important barrier we talked about before. So dry air weakens our skin's defenses,
Yeah.
making it more prone to irritation and other problems.
Exactly. And that can show up in all sorts of ways like redness, dryness, flakiness, itching, and even breakouts. If you already have a skin condition like eczema or psoriasis, dry air can make your symptoms a lot worse.
That's not good. So what can we do about the effects of low humidity? We talked about humidifiers before, but are there other things we can do?
Humidifiers are definitely a great way to add moisture back into the air, especially at home or in your office. But you can also do some things as part of your skincare routine.
Like what?
First, it's important to use gentle cleansers. Harsh cleansers can strip away your skin's natural oils, which are already low in dry conditions.
Right, so no more trying to get that squeaky clean feeling, even though it's tempting. What else?
Hydrating ingredients are your best friend when the humidity is low. You want products with humectants like hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and even honey. They attract and hold onto moisture to keep your skin nice and hydrated.
So humectants are like magnets for moisture. I love it.
And another important tip is to avoid taking long, hot showers or baths, even though they feel so good, especially when it's cold outside.
Wait, really? Why are hot showers bad for our skin?
Hot water can actually strip away your skin's natural oils, just like those harsh cleansers. It can also disrupt the balance of your skin's microbiome, which is essential for healthy skin.
I never knew that about hot showers.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give up a few minutes of hot water for the sake of my skin. So lukewarm showers it is. Are there any other showering tips?
Yeah. Pat your skin dry instead of rubbing it. Rubbing can irritate your skin, especially when it's already dry and sensitive.
Pat, don't rub. Got it. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's super important to moisturize right after you shower.
Absolutely. Put on your moisturizer while your skin is still a little damp to seal in that moisture and create a protective barrier.
These are some really great tips. So to recap, when the humidity is low, we need to use a humidifier, choose a gentle cleanser, use lots of humectants, avoid long hot showers, pat our skin dry, and moisturize right after we shower. Did I miss anything?
You got it all. Oh, and don't forget to drink plenty of water throughout the day to stay hydrated from the inside out.
Right, hydration is so important. Now, I really want to learn more about how natural and organic ingredients can help our skin adjust to all of these changes in the environment. But we're going to have to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the world of natural skincare and see how these ingredients can help us have healthy, radiant skin all year round.
I'm excited to get into that. Welcome back. I'm really excited to talk more about those natural and organic skincare ingredients and how they can help your skin as the seasons change.
Me too. Before the break, you were talking about how those ingredients can actually copy the skin's natural processes. That's so interesting to me. Can you give me some examples of how that works?
Sure. Let's start with something we've already talked a bit about, hydration. Hyaluronic acid is a really popular ingredient for bringing moisture into the skin, but it's not the only one out there. Natural ingredients like aloe vera, honey, and even stuff from seaweed can also act as humectants to help your skin hold on to moisture.
So instead of just relying on hyaluronic acid made in a lab, we can go to nature for a hydration boost.
Exactly. And what's cool is that a lot of these natural humectants do more than just hydrate. Like we mentioned earlier, aloe vera is soothing and can calm down inflammation, which makes it great for irritated skin or even sunburns. Honey has antibacterial properties, which can help if you're prone to acne.
It's like you're getting two benefits in one hydration plus something extra. But hydration isn't the only thing our skin needs to adjust to the seasons, right?
Right. Another really important thing is keeping your skin barrier healthy. That barrier is like a shield to protect your skin from things that can irritate it and also to prevent moisture loss. And you know what? Nature gives us some awesome ingredients that can help that barrier function properly.
Okay, tell me, what are those barrier-boosting heroes?
Plant oils are a great place to start. Oils like jojoba oil, rosehip oil, and avocado oil are packed with fatty acids that are really similar to the lipids in your skin's natural barrier. When you put those oils on your skin, they can actually replenish and strengthen the barrier and make it better at protecting your skin and keeping it moisturized.
So those oils are like backup for our skin's natural defenses. That's so cool. And I bet they feel amazing on your skin too.
They do. A lot of people say that plant oils make their skin feel super soft, smooth, and nourished. But besides hydration and helping the skin barrier, natural ingredients can also help with those annoying skin problems that come with different seasons.
Like what kinds of problems?
Well, think about summer. Sun exposure is a big deal when it's hot out, and although sunscreen is really important, natural ingredients can give you another layer of protection.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm always looking for new ways to protect my skin from the sun.
Antioxidants are the best way to fight sun damage, and luckily, nature is full of them. Ingredients like green tea extract, vitamin C that comes from fruits, and even resveratrol, which is found in grapes, can help get rid of those harmful free radicals that you get from UV radiation.
So those antioxidants are like little shields protecting our skin from the sun's rays.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Sunscreen blocks the UV rays, and antioxidants come in and clean up any damage that might have gotten through.
That's a great way to explain it. I'm going to start paying more attention to skincare products that have antioxidants, especially in the summer.
And don't forget, a lot of those antioxidants also have other benefits. Like green tea extract is a great antioxidant, but it can also calm down inflammation, which is perfect if you have a sunburn.
It's amazing how nature gives us exactly what we need to take care of our skin.
I know, right? And it's not just about protecting your skin from the sun. Natural ingredients can also help with breakouts, which tend to be worse in the summer because of all that sweat and oil.
Yes. Tell me more about that. I definitely get more breakouts in the summer.
Well, there are lots of natural ingredients that have antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties, which are great for acne-prone skin. Tea tree oil is a good example. It's been used for ages to treat skin infections, and it's really good at reducing inflammation and killing the bacteria that causes acne.
I've heard really good things about tea tree oil. Are there any other natural ingredients that can fight acne?
Witch hazel is another one. It's a natural astringent that can help tighten your pores and control how much oil your skin makes. And don't underestimate those clay masks. Clays like kaolin and bentonite can actually suck up all the excess oil and impurities from your skin, which makes them a really good addition to your summer skincare routine.
Tea tree oil, witch hazel, and clay masks. Okay, I got it. It's good to know that there are natural ways to deal with summer breakouts.
And remember, these are just a few examples of how natural ingredients can help your skin all year round. The important thing is to figure out what your skin needs and then choose the right ingredients to address those specific issues.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not about following every trend. It's about figuring out what your skin needs and what works for you. Now, before we finish talking about natural ingredients, there's one more thing I've been wondering about. You mentioned that sometimes natural ingredients aren't as stable or potent as the ones made in a lab. Can you tell me more about that?
Of course. Natural ingredients come from plants and other things found in nature, which means the quality and strength can vary. Things like where the plant was grown, how it was harvested, and how the ingredients were extracted can all affect the final product.
So it's kind of like when you're choosing produce at the farmer's market. You want to make sure you're getting the best quality ingredients.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to do your research and pick brands that you can trust. Look for companies that are open about where they get their ingredients from and how they make their products. You want companies that use high-quality ingredients that are sustainably sourced.
Okay, so quality and transparency are super important when it comes to natural skincare.
Got it. And I'm guessing how you store those products is important too, right? We want them to stay effective.
You're right. A lot of natural ingredients don't do well when they're exposed to light or heat, so it's best to store your products in a cool, dark place. And always check those expiration dates to make sure you're using fresh products that are still going to work.
Those are good tips. I'm going to be more careful about how I store my skincare products. This has been a really informative conversation about natural skincare. But I think it's important to remember that taking care of our skin goes beyond just the products we use, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's about taking care of yourself from the inside out and making sure your lifestyle supports healthy skin.
Okay, so tell me more about that. What are some of the things we can do in our everyday lives that can help our skin?
Well, we've already talked about hydration. Drinking enough water is super important for keeping your skin plump and hydrated from within.
Water is like magic. What else? What you eat makes a huge difference. When you eat a balanced diet that's full of fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats, you're giving your skin the nutrients it needs to be healthy.
You know what they say, you are what you eat.
Exactly. And you can really see it in your skin. Foods that are rich in antioxidants, like berries, leafy greens, and nuts, can actually protect your skin from damage. And healthy fats, like the ones you find in avocados and olive oil, help your skin stay moisturized and elastic.
That makes me want to eat more of those skin-boosting foods.
Oh,
What about other things in our lifestyle? I'm guessing stress is a big one, right?
you're right. If you're stressed out all the time, it can really affect your skin. It can cause inflammation, breakouts, and even make you age faster. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, like exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature, can make a huge difference for your skin.
So it's all connected, our minds, our bodies, and our skin.
That's right. And speaking of connections, sleep is another important factor when it comes to healthy skin.
Ah, yes, beauty sleep.
It's not just a saying. When you sleep, your body starts repairing itself, and that includes your skin.
So what's actually happening to our skin when we're asleep?
When you're sleeping, your skin cells are regenerating, you're making more collagen, and the blood flow to your skin is better. All of that helps give you a brighter, more youthful complexion.
Okay, I'm convinced that beauty sleep is a real thing. But what if you have trouble getting a good night's sleep? Any tips?
Trying to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, having a relaxing bedtime routine, and making sure your bedroom is dark, cool, and quiet can all help you sleep better.
It's all about creating a relaxing space for sleep. I like that.
And don't forget how important it is to disconnect from all your devices an hour or two before bed. The blue light from those screens can mess with your melatonin production, which makes it harder to fall asleep.
Okay, I needed that reminder to put down my phone and step away from the computer before bed.
And one last thing, don't forget about exercise. When you exercise regularly, it improves your blood flow, which means more nutrients and oxygen are getting to your skin cells, giving you that healthy glow.
So exercise is good for our skin too. This has been such an interesting conversation about how the things we do in our everyday life can affect our skin. It's not just about what products we use, it's also about how we take care of ourselves in general.
Exactly. It's about taking care of your skin from the inside out and creating a healthy environment for it.
Now, before we move on to our final thoughts, I have one more question that I've been thinking about. We've talked a lot about how to adjust our skincare routine based on the seasons, but what about our skin type? Does our skin type matter when we're thinking about how to change our routine throughout the year?
That's a great question, and the answer is yes, it definitely does. Just like your skin's needs change with the seasons, they also change depending on what type of skin you have. Whether your skin is dry, oily, combination, or sensitive, understanding your skin type is really important for creating a routine that really works for you.
Okay, let's talk skin types, but first we need to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll explore the different skin types and talk about how you can tailor your skincare routine to your skin's unique needs no matter what the weather is like.
Looking forward to it.
All right, we're back, and now it's time to talk about you and your skin type. I think so many of us have a hard time figuring out what our skin type even is and how that should affect our skincare routine, especially as the seasons change.
You're so right. It's really important to know your skin type because that's how you build a good skincare routine. And it's not always easy to figure out.
Okay, so let's break it all down. What are the main skin types, and how do we know which one we have?
The most common ones are dry, oily, combination, and sensitive. Dry skin usually feels tight, flaky, and rough. It might even look a little dull. Oily skin, on the other hand, is usually shiny with big pores, and it tends to break out more. Combination skin, like the name says, is a mix of both dry and oily. Usually the T-zone, that's your forehead, nose, and chin, is oily, and your cheeks are drier. And then there's sensitive skin, which is easily irritated and tends to react to certain ingredients.
So it's kind of like a spectrum, with dry skin on one side, oily skin on the other, and then combination and sensitive somewhere in the middle.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that your skin type can change over time, like because of hormones, aging, or even just your environment.
So a skin type isn't necessarily the same forever. It can change.
Absolutely. That's why it's important to pay attention to how your skin feels and looks and change your routine accordingly. Once you have a good idea of what your skin type is, you can start tailoring your skincare routine to fit its needs, keeping in mind how the seasons change things up.
Okay, let's get down to business. What if someone has dry skin? How should they change their skincare routine for each season?
Well, if you have dry skin, the most important thing is hydration. You need to keep that skin moisturized. In the winter, when the air is dry and cold, you really want to focus on moisturizing. Look for thick creams with ingredients like ceramides, hyaluronic acid, and shea butter. And a humidifier can really make a difference too, especially in your bedroom because it adds moisture back into the air.
So it's like creating a moisture bubble for dry skin in the winter. What about in the spring?
When it starts to get warmer and the humidity goes up, people with dry skin might be able to switch to a moisturizer that's a little bit lighter. But it's still really important to keep using hydrating serums and to exfoliate gently to get rid of any dry flakes.
Okay, so even though it's getting warmer, dry skin still needs lots of hydration. What about summer? I know a lot of people think dry skin doesn't need as much attention in the summer, but is that true?
Not always. Even in the summer, dry skin can get dehydrated, especially if you're out in the sun a lot or if you're around air conditioning, which dries out the air. So you still need to moisturize, although you can probably use a lotion or a gel that's a little lighter.
And I bet sunscreen is still super important for dry skin in the summer, just like it is for every skin type, right?
Right. Sun protection is a must for everyone, no matter what your skin type is. And if you have dry skin, you want to choose a sunscreen that also moisturizes. Look for ones that have hydrating ingredients like hyaluronic acid or aloe vera.
Good tip. So even in the summer, dry skin needs some love. What about the fall?
As the air starts to get drier again in the fall, people with dry skin will want to start using their heavier winter moisturizers again. Layering your skincare can really help here, so you could start with a hydrating serum and then put a cream or balm over it. That helps to lock in the moisture.
Okay, so it's all about paying attention to the humidity and adjusting accordingly. Now let's talk about oily skin. How does oily skin need to change throughout the year?
Well, the main thing with oily skin is controlling oil production and preventing breakouts. But you still have to make sure it's hydrated. Even in the winter, oily skin can get dehydrated, so it's all about finding that balance. Look for lotions or gels that hydrate without clogging your pores.
So even in the winter, oily skin needs to be hydrated but not too much, right? What about spring?
Spring can be tough for oily skin because the warmer temperatures and higher humidity can make your skin produce more oil and lead to breakouts. Using a gentle exfoliant a few times a week can help with this because it removes dead skin cells and keeps your pores clear.
And what about moisturizer? Do people with oily skin still need to moisturize in the spring and summer?
They do. Every skin type needs hydration. If you have oily skin, just choose a moisturizer that's light and oil-free so it won't make you shiny or clog your pores. Look for ones that say non-comedogenic on the label, which means they won't clog your pores.
Non-comedogenic. Okay, got it. I'm going to keep an eye out for that on product labels. So what about summer? I'm guessing that's the hardest time of year for people with oily skin?
It can be, but if you have a good routine, oily skin can do just fine even when it's hot and humid. Blotting papers are great for soaking up extra oil throughout the day, and you can use a clay mask once or twice a week to get rid of impurities and tighten those pores.
Blotting papers and clay masks, those are must-haves for summer. What about fall?
When the weather cools down and it's not as humid, people with oily skin might be able to start using slightly heavier moisturizers again, but they should still stick with products that control oil production and prevent breakouts.
Okay, so just like with dry skin, it's all about adjusting your routine based on the humidity. Now, what about combination skin? That sounds like it would be the hardest skin type to manage.
Combination skin can definitely be a challenge. The trick is to treat the different areas of your face differently. For example, you might use a lighter moisturizer on your T-zone and a heavier cream on your cheeks if they're drier.
So you're basically customizing your routine for different parts of your face.
Exactly. And you can do this year-round. In the winter, you might need to layer your skincare in some areas, but in the summer, you might need to focus more on controlling oil in your T-zone and giving your cheeks extra moisture.
It all makes sense now. It's really about paying attention to what your skin needs and changing your routine to fit those needs. Now, what about sensitive skin? What should people with sensitive skin do to protect and care for their skin all year long?
For sensitive skin, the most important thing is to use ingredients that are gentle and soothing. Look for products that don't have any fragrance or hypoallergenic and are made specifically for sensitive skin. And it's really important to test any new products on a small area of your skin before you use them all over your face. That way you can make sure they don't irritate your skin.
Patch testing, that's a good reminder. I think a lot of us forget to do that. What else should people with sensitive skin keep in mind?
Sun protection is super important for sensitive skin because it tends to get red and irritated easily from the sun. Choose a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher. Mineral sunscreens, the ones with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, are usually a good choice for sensitive skin because they tend to be more gentle.
Mineral sunscreens, okay, got it.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing harsh ingredients are a bad idea for sensitive skin, right?
Yes. Avoid anything that could irritate your skin, like fragrances, alcohol, and harsh exfoliants.
Okay, so gentle and soothing is the key for sensitive skin. This has been such a helpful deep dive into all things skin types. Now I really understand how to take care of my skin's unique needs throughout the year.
I'm so glad to hear that. And always remember that taking care of your skin is an ongoing process. Pay attention to how your skin feels and looks, change up your routine when you need to, and don't forget to celebrate the unique beauty of your skin.
I love that. This whole conversation has been such a great reminder that skincare is about so much more than just having perfect skin. It's about taking care of ourselves, both inside and out.
Exactly. It's about nourishing your skin, protecting it from the elements, and recognizing how strong and resilient it is.
And it's about learning to love the journey, with all the good and bad parts, and accepting that our skin is constantly changing just like we are.
Before we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thought. The best skincare routine is the one that you'll actually stick with. So keep it simple, have fun, and don't be afraid to try new things until you find what works for you.
That's such great advice. Skincare shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be a way to take care of yourself and celebrate your own unique beauty.
I couldn't agree more. And remember, we're always here to help you on your skincare journey. If you have any questions or need some advice, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Absolutely. And with that, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the world of skincare. We hope you enjoyed it and feel like you can create a skincare routine that helps you have healthy, radiant skin all year round.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you today.
Until next time, stay glowing.